Another weekend. You didn't do anything this weekend. No Gatsby. What'd you do?
Oh my goodness! I watched tennis.
I saw you at softball for a minute.
Yeah, for sure. Was at different spring sports and watched tennis. Obviously, Coach Moore is going to be on, and just unbelievable run that she's been on for the last 2 years.
The last 2 years.
I mean, it's just
taking the program
phenomenal,
from nowhere.
Phenomenal. I mean, she's a rock star, and what she's done with this program is really nothing.
It's
short
incredible
of
in the last 2 years.
Absolutely,
to turn it around this quickly.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but first I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
I get asked this question by a lot of people.
Okay.
You get a new president coming in. Mm-hmm. It'll be decided maybe as early as this week.
It will be this week. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go. What does the president and your relationship with the president mean for McNeese athletics?
I mean, it's everything. I think that the one thing in particular that Dr. Brickell, Dr. Roos, and I, we were all aligned.
Yeah.
And so, for me personally, that relationship or that vision, how that president views athletics, the importance of it. Look.
You need a good working partner.
100%. And listen, I've said this, and Coach Wade has said this too. Coaches win games, administrations win championships, but that starts from the top. And, it's this decision on Thursday will impact the future of McNeese athletics.
Yeah, one way or the other.
One way or the other.
It's down to two guys. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let you campaign for anybody, but it is very critical for.
It 100%.
That's all I wanted to get out because I think people have a tendency to think that presidents can make or don't really have an impact. They can make or break. And we've kind of seen that in the last two presidents here.
Yeah.
Is one kind of didn't invest, mm-hmm. one went with an investment. Mm-hmm. And we've seen the benefits of the investment. We saw the disappointment of the no investment. It's a big moment for McNeese athletics, but also McNeese in general.
Especially at this level, like at the Power Fives, the Ohio States.
Yeah, they take care of themselves.
It's there's just so much. But at this level, if you don't have the right president, it's really, really hard to move forward.
To overcome that.
100%.
Very hard to overcome that. Okay, I want to ask you a couple of NCAA questions.
Okay.
Last week, the NCAA ruled that basically you don't have to sit out no matter what.
Right.
For transfers. Mm-hmm. Kind of the Will Wade rule, if we want to call it that.
Right.
That's kind of a game changer. Mm-hmm. But there's also talk of this big 80 conglomerate of football schools where contracts will come into play. Mm-hmm. And they'll be played basically as not a union but a collective bargaining agreement. Mm-hmm. How would that impact you guys, and how would that impact transfers that have already been collectively bargained on one level and wouldn't be on another?
Well, I think the short answer is it's definitely going to impact us. How it's going to impact us, I'm not sure. I think that's the future. We've talked about this, on air before, that the 70, 80 teams would have you, from a football standpoint, will break away and just.
And that's fine. I think that's fine.
I agree. And look. I think that there's so much change right now in college athletics, but whenever there's change, there's opportunity.
Yeah.
And for us, I think that I'm looking at ways for us to be opportunistic and how do we continue to grow and hey, this is the rules of engagement right now, and we need to be the best we can be right now in this world.
Would it be a possibility of a situation where you move up a level in football but stay in the Southland in every other sport? Is that a possibility in these things?
I don't know. I don't know, Jim. I mean, I think that I don't think anything is off the board, right? But when those 80 leave, okay, which is going to happen, my question is, what happens to the Lafayettes, the Techs? Where do they go? What do they do? It's going to be very, very fascinating and interesting. But like I've told my staff, the only thing we can worry about is to be the best we can be. Do we have the best facilities? Do we have the best fan base? Is our NIL and our collective, is that up and running? Like all the things that have to happen for us to be successful in not only today, but where this I think is trending. That's what we can control.
Well, 3 years ago, you weren't an option. Right now, you could be an option.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of the interesting things about it.
We just look. The elephant in the room is we have to win in football.
Yeah.
We've invested way too much. We put too much into it. This is a huge year, and we, look, at the end of the day, we have to be good in football. There's no reason why we shouldn't.
No, there shouldn't be, and you've done all the right steps. You got 11. Last I saw, you're number 2 in FBS. Transfer portal guys coming to an FCS school. I think you're at 11 or 12.
Yep.
So there's more talent in the room. Now you got to make it happen. Let's see what the development is. Last question for you, but on this topic, the FCS football title game going to Monday night. Do you like it?
I like it. I like it a lot because, again, it's anytime.
It will be against your basketball now, though.
I understand. It's one day.
Okay.
Right? But I think it's the right thing for the league, or not only the league, but for this level, because, again, it showcases us. And I'm all about linear TV. If someone came to me and said, look, you can play Southeastern football on a Wednesday night at 5 o'clock, sign me up.
You're playing.
Sign me up.
I agree.
And I think when you look at Conference USA, you look at the Sun Belt, look what they've done. I think it's enhanced their league. It's enhanced from financially.
Well, it started with the Mid-America, so yeah.
Exactly right. So kudos to the FCS powers that be to do that. I think it's a great move.
When we come back, Gabby Moore will join us and talk tennis and their second-place finish in the Southland Conference.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. It is an honor to have our tennis coach, Gabby Moore. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Well,
me.
thank you for, I know you got in late last night.
Yes.
So I got so many things to talk about, but the first thing is unbelievable year. This is year 2. You took over a program that was beyond a mess. Finished second overall, got to the championship yesterday. I'm going to say tough call, didn't go our way, what have you. But first of all, congratulations on an unbelievable year and what you've done with this program. I know it's very fresh, but what are your thoughts on the year?
It was incredible. It's been an incredible experience, a credible ride. Obviously, coming in year 2, I couldn't have asked for a better year. Yesterday didn't go our way, but one of the things I told the girls that doesn't take anything away from the year that they've had. There's been so many firsts that have been done this year, and that I was so proud of them, and that one thing, I promised was to try and put McNeese tennis back on the map, and that's something I think that we're doing and we're going to continue doing here. So super proud. They've done incredible, and so happy for them that they got to share it. And that's what I told them. I said, take it all in. Like, to be here is a privilege, and privilege is, pressure is privilege, and to be here is a monumental moment. Not everyone, makes it here, and you have to work super hard to play in a championship. So I'm super proud of them and their performance.
So, the second question is what, some people don't really realize is, the program you took over, let's be quite frank, was at the bottom, okay? And what you've been able to do, last year finishing third, which was, I told you, was remarkable. And then moving it forward, talk about the process that you went through from day one. Talk about the process and not only from going from where you were to where you are, but the process about what, moving forward.
Yeah, so for me, it's always, since the day I walked through this door, it was about relations. Laying that foundation with the team, knowing them off the court and on the court, taking tons of time to build relationships, build trust with them, I think was super important coming into a transitional position like that. We had 5 returners from that team that was, able to do the, much better the next year.
100%.
So I think it was just building that foundation, really listening to them, really feeding into what they want, what maybe the vision that I had for the program, having them buy into the vision that I had for the program. And also just bringing in the recruits we needed to really be a competitive team in the Southland. So I had brought, the girls that I needed, and I knew that could really impact the lineups and the program in general, because we want good people, we want good character, and I think, culture wins. I really am a true believer that culture wins. So we built the foundation, I think, last year. They believed at that point. We got them out there. They, like you said, finished third in the conference, played a tough semifinal, and then they knew they wanted it more. They knew how to play in those elements. And this year they really, set that goal to make it all the way, which they did. So.
That's right.
We just continued to get better. We were more competitive, and we just want to continue to get competitive. We want to stay there and keep it there. It's all about consistency.
How hard was it to change the culture into a winning culture to where they did believe?
It wasn't hard. I think it was just, for me as a coach, it just took a lot of communication. It took a lot of honesty. It took a lot of time off the court. The team was talented. The team had talent. I think when I saw them, I knew they were capable of competing. And that was one thing about, us as McNeese. I think our team is known for having grit to compete. We fight hard, and we may not be the best team on paper, but we fight hard. And sometimes that's all it takes is you fight a little bit more. So having coaches that believed in them, having coaches that really they trust and they wanted to compete for, not only coaches, but their teammates as well. They have a unit that is undescribable, and I think that helps them because they're not just playing for themselves, but they were playing for each other.
Also, the fact that it seemed like they learned an awful lot from the first year. This year, they took that to heart. They also not only got better, but they really understood how to win. How much did last year's kind of progress mean to this year's team?
I think it meant a lot. I don't think a lot of them had been in that position before, so handling that pressure takes a different kind of mentality to play in those championship moments. And then they felt it, and they knew what it feels like, and then, that's why we always say, you don't lose, it's a lesson. And that lesson, when we did lose, was a big one. And they knew what it took at that moment to fight through that. So.
And what's the lesson after yesterday?
To keep going. We only got better. We got 1% better this year. That's how I look at it. And, next year, we never know. We could be in that same position again.
And what about the league itself? Obviously, the first year you were a little bit under the radar. This year you weren't so much under the radar, especially when you beat New Jersey. What does it mean now, kind of moving forward for this program and the attention you've gotten?
I think it's huge. I think it's huge for this program, for this university, for this city. And I think that's what it's about. We want the girls to feel that sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Like that sense that they're worth something, that they're passionate about what they're doing, that they're supported by this community, supported by this university, and I think it's a great feeling to play for a team that people know about and people could talk about, and it's a chip on their shoulder, and they're humble about it, but whatever we could do for this amazing city, we have so much support, and it helps us so much achieve those goals of being a known program.
When we come back with Gabby Moore, we'll talk a little bit more about next year's team and the program and the future here at McNeese Tennis.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
We're back with tennis coach Gabby Moore. And coach, the way it ended yesterday, some controversy, gives you something to build on, right?
Probably kept me a little awake last night. The boogeyman came out under the bed a few times, but
it does kind of give you kind of another chip on your shoulder for next year in many ways. Are you ahead of schedule? Did you feel like you could be here this quick? And where do you think it can go?
I always believed, when I took this position, that was my goal. That was something I told Heath, that I could build this program into a championship program. I wanted it to be a nationally recognized team. And I think, taking it year by year, and again, going back to having them buy in, there's so many things that you could do. We have all the support, we have all the resources and able to get us to that level that we want to. And we just, finding the right players, finding the right niche to the program definitely helps, and especially when you're winning, it helps too, with recruiting. So I truly believe that we could do it. When I wouldn't have possibly wanted it any other way than it to go like this. And this is what, we've taken a lot of work. We've built little by little, brick by brick. That's what we always talk about, laying that foundation. And it just shows what the girls had, like what we had. We already had that, and just how relationships are so important with these kind of programs.
So, Coach, I believe that in any organization, it's about retaining and recruiting talent. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you had some talented girls. Let's talk about again, and it's hard to do this as a coach because it was so fresh, right? You just finished yesterday, but recruiting and retaining talent. Talk about your ability to do that. Where do you go, to recruit talent? Obviously, the girls have had a great experience here, but still retaining your talent in today's world is really important. Talk about the process that goes into that.
I get a little from everywhere. I try, domestically, internationally, the portally, whatever, wherever, I could get a player. And that's one thing I don't shy away from. I love recruiting. That's on the top of my list of part of the love of my job. But definitely just finding the right niche. I don't shy away from recruits. I don't care who you play for, where you play for. If McNeese is for you and I think you could compete, I'm going to go for you. Mm-hmm. And so I do a lot of international recruiting. We do have one girl that's joining us next year who's from Florida, which is awesome because I know domestically that's been one of the wishes for McNeese, and that's what we're trying to do is have a good good range, a good genre
balance,
balance of culture. That's something that's super important, that I have a good culture base of everyone from different places in the country or the world. It really helps.
Is it tough to get domestic kids because a lot of them want to play professionally at a young age or a junior circuit of some type, and that college isn't the first choice for a lot of kids that want to be tennis pros? How difficult is that recruiting against?
It's a little difficult. I think, to be honest, I think tennis is a huge European sport, and I think there's, as an American player myself, with the system, most kids kind of are rooted and grounded, and they kind of know the route that they want to go. And for me, the most important thing is having players that want to play for McNeese, whether you're domestic or if you're international. And I think we're capable of getting those players, especially now. We have the resources. Again, we have a great facility. We have great support systems. And this is the time where, we're on the right track. We're getting nationally recognized. We had a national ranking for that week. And what, American players, that's what they really want to be a part of. That's when we start to get them. So hopefully, we see more of that, and I want it for our program too. But again, I want those players that just truly want to be here at McNeese.
Is it tough to get kids that want to go to college this route because they see the other route of the financial gains and playing in certain places and want to be pros by the time they're 16 now?
Well, to be honest, the ITA, which is basically our hub for college tennis, is doing a great job of making it a pathway to still go to college and then still go professional after college, which is great for our sport because, like you said, yes, sometimes playing college tennis is looked frowned upon. If you want to go pro, they start so young and so early. But now you're seeing so many players that are getting 4 years of their education and still making it to the pros and getting grants through the ITA and getting, wild cards for winning, national, collegiate tournaments to get into these big, pro tournaments. So there's definitely tons of room for college tennis. And
So, Coach, what now that you've been through the league twice, what you made obviously a huge step year one, another big step this past year. After seeing the league, what do you need to have on your roster from a training standpoint? What is needed to take the next step?
Yeah, I think we just need to continue to have the depth that we have. It's really important, to have depth in your lineup. Players from one, we hold usually 8 players on a roster, but having players 1 through 8 that could compete at any point is super crucial. Good doubles players for sure. That's something that we made emphasis on this year. We were struggling in doubles last year. We need girls that know how to compete or that we could teach. But I think our biggest niche is our development. We find players, those Rymans and the Duff, that, are good players and that could develop quickly. We spend a lot of time in development, but just having depth on the team, having that character, that leadership skills, that, they could come into a team that has this culture, this foundation, and be able to fit into it right away. It's really important.
Gabby Moore has been our guest. McNeese Tennis finishes second in the conference. Tough loss, though. Something to build on next year, something to remember next year. In your second year, in 2 years, you take it from third to second. So in your third year, it should be first then, right?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's what you got to have. When we come back, we'll get Coach's final thoughts after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining. We have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Second place finish after a third place finish in her first year. Obviously, great strides. Weird ending yesterday, or a weird set of circumstances that led. What has she done for this program and the school? And what is the school? Because we saw LSU win a gymnastics title. Mm-hmm. What does some of the minor sports do as far as attention for you?
I think it just continues to enhance the brand. For us to be in the top 70 of tennis programs in the country this year, I mean, what she's done here is nothing short of remarkable. She's a great coach. She's a great leader. But here's the thing, and she mentioned this. She loves recruiting. If you're a head coach in today's world with all the portal, if you don't wake up every day and have a passion to recruit, you're going to get left behind. She does that.
No, you got to recruit. That's the lifeblood more now than ever, and it's a changing.
It is
roster every day.
And the other thing that she's
every day somebody's roster is changing.
And the other thing that she's been phenomenal at is engaging this community. The tennis community in particular. She is from day one. Engage them. You go out to the matches and there's people there and it's just I'm so excited about where our tennis program is and where she can take it, and she's a rock star. I'm telling you right now. I mean, she's the real deal.
Okay, now let's get into the other stuff. You didn't have Gatsby to worry about this weekend. So what did you do?
Wow. What did I do?
Yeah.
Well, I told you I watched tennis.
What else did you do?
Went to softball. Went to stop by. I mean, just. Actually caught up on some office things, caught up on some emails and thank you notes. And, I have plenty to do. Trust me on that.
I don't know.
But it was nice to catch up on laundry and, kind of actually be normal, spend some time with my son, those kind of things.
Didn't feel the need to have another party or something?
No.
Swing from any chandeliers or anything like last time?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I wanted to get to this. The business contracts of sports that we've talked about. Mm-hmm. Would you be in favor of athletes who are coming in now and transferring in, signing contracts so that if they do transfer up, there's some buyouts from the big schools to take you out? Mm-hmm. So you're kind of getting an investment for what you put into them?
Yeah, I think so. I think that,
everybody wants them to be businessmen.
I haven't given that a ton of thought, but I think it's a unique approach. I think that at some point in time, I just wish that the NCAA would be able to, maybe not even the NCAA, but some real athletic directors that are going to just take all the ego out of the room and sit down around a table for a day or two and let's really think about where we're at and where we're going and make some real decisions.
Would you like to see them done more on this level compared to worrying about the big guys all the time? Because it does seem like this level gets left behind.
Yes, but I will tell you this. The one thing that the NCAA can always hang its hat on is the NCAA tournament. Because when it's David versus Goliath, and it is the greatest sporting event for that month in the country.
Yeah.
And so the NCAA tournament is what keeps the NCAA really relevant and alive and allows schools our size and even up to the mid-majors, it allows them to stay alive and allows them to continue to prosper. Without it, where do you go?
And have your moments. Have your 100%. Shining moment.
Exactly right.
One shining moment. When we come back next week, don't forget there will be a podcast. Last podcast of the year will be May 1st at Mr. Bill's. We'll see you next week.